Warm good morning to everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday when I was just contacted by my marketing team and wanted me to be here, I was just wondering, what am I supposed to do in that marketing and advertisement world, right? We touch base with them whenever my marketing budget is approved and then give my ideas to my marketing team and tell them that where I wanted to reach our products and services, who are our target audience, and then only I come across. Maybe if you look at it in a month, a few hours of my time is just consumed on that. I was just wondering why these guys are asking me to come and then make a speech over here. Then I thought there is a binding between you and the bank. Not the kind of RBL Bank per se, but banking. Everybody would have been touched by the concept of banking in your lifestyle, right from the childhood for some of us, maybe in the adulthood for all of us, and in the old age, definitely for all of us, right? So natural concern which is emerging out of that touch is, are we comfortable? Are we secured? The banks, because you hear, the red is by nature, can be seen from the long distance. You hear a lot of noise. You hear about the problems in the industry. Somebody has been cheated, a senior IAS officer has been robbed of 2.7 crores of his hard-earned money, and which also triggers the point, how come the people have saved so much of money? And recently you saw that an executive of a banking community, HDFC retired one, and somewhere he lost a couple of crores. It always dawned, even in my mind itself, how come people can be cheated? Are we secured? I keep asking this question, almost this is a question which reverberates in my mind day in and day out. It is not the transaction which makes you to be comfortable or uncomfortable. It is the service providers like us or the banking fraternity is always grapple with the fate. Are we are we sprinting fast enough than the guys who are there in the prowl? That is always there in the mind of you. Then I thought, yes, this is the one common, the link between you and me possibly is the reason that you wanted me here. First of all, greetings and thanks to the Exchange for Media for inviting me here. Greetings to the wonderful audience for marketing, advertisement and financial sector. The pitch BFSI has pitched a good topic, the securing the future of the Indian banking. I don't know where from they got the doubt that are we going to be securing. That means they have already decided that it is not going to be secured. Like, how are we going to secure? Right? One thing I just want to assure you guys there, banking is a regulated entity. And it is a space which has been extremely regulated, not only in our country, across the globe. And there is always a Basel which comes from 1, 2, 3, 4, which keeps upping its ante for ensuring that the services and the public money is in the safely deployed, safely earned, and safely secured. We have an Indian regulator. I must give much more compliments than the rest of the regulators across the globe for the simple reason. He is little forward-looking, always having a clarity and one vision of protecting the customers. The only theme and the purpose and objective you would have heard the Governor Reserve Bank of India multiple times, because you from media side, you would have been hearing them more often than me. I just don't hear him daily, day in and day out, but you guys see him, hear him. The common underlying thread and the theme is we want to protect the customer rights. We wanted to protect the customers' money which is there in the banking. With that statement, it doesn't stop there. They come out with the regulatory prescriptions. They come out with prescriptions, please understand. They go to the level of prescribing. It is not the diagnosis which stops. They prescribed clearly what as a bank is supposed to take the steps, be it in technology, be it in advanced way of delivering the services, be it the resolving the customer grievances. They are extremely prescriptive. This you must appreciate. The one great assurance to you and me as a service provider and you as a service availing person that the banking is secured. It has been contested. The one classic example. In last couple of decades, you saw the global turmoil in financial sector. How was Indian? There are a lot of articles written by many of you. You have come out and articulated very clearly that as to how exactly the financial tsunami, the financial earthquake, it had its own tremors here and there, but it has not disrupted the way it has been in India. Maybe we can say with that's one of the reasons that maybe the governor of the earlier governor of Reserve Bank of India was consistently avoided the best governor among all the governors. It stems from the simple fact that the banking industry is secured because the regulator is not the one who takes steps and wait for the actions to be made. He takes steps much ahead of the time. When the entire financial sector was withering under the pressure of the financial disruptions and financial tsunami in form of the scams and things like that, the Indian regulator ensured that it is secured. So just be rest assured, you don't have to worry about that. We are not going to securing. We have already secured and will continue to be secured. It is not the regulator who alone takes this forward-looking step. Government of India steps in. Multiple reforms this country has seen in the banking for ease of doing the business. But it has never compromised. The ease of doing business comes with all its frills of risk. It comes with the risk, but it has comes with an antidote for those risks consistently. There are certain forward-looking steps taken. IBC is a great law, you would have seen it. The Insolvency Bankruptcy Court, which has changed the way the resolution can take place. I've seen in my life how tough it used to be for recovering even in the old IRDP loan, the Integrated Rural Development Program. Now today, you have solutions for everything. They are always coming out with the steps for resolving everything, be it a secured or unsecured credit. You always have a forward-looking statement from Government of India and the regulator. That is the one which is keeping this industry binding, this industry safe and secured. Banking, I will say with the pride, it was secured, it is secured, and it will continue to be secured in future as well. When we want to talk about the future, first we need to look back the past and see how was it, how it transitioned and transformed, and what is the present state, then what is the future state can be. You always relate your childhood, your education, your schooling and graduation when you just step out of the college. College was the best. When you step out of the school, you say school was the best. When you step out of your the adult school to get into the married life, you will say that adult was the best. When you bring up a child, you will always. So the past always has a greater link to the future. So I just wanted to give a couple of anecdotes and also say how they are linked to the future and how safe we are. The first, we need to understand the difference between the banking and the bank. I'm sure that all of you must be knowing it. The banking has remained same, past, present and future. What is it? Accepting deposit and giving loans. It has not changed. The fundamental principle of the banking remains. The banking is same in the past, in the future also. But what has changed? Why there is a change? Then why do people say that the banking has changed? Banking has not changed. The way the bank is delivering its services has changed. The way the banks are using the medium through which it is delivering the services has changed. It changed the transactions the way it has been doing it. I'm sure that some of you would have gone to the bank exactly a decade before UPI and IMPS was launched. What we're doing? Sabji, I pull out a wallet. The wallet will be full of currency. You go to ATM, pull the money out, put it. ATM transactions dropped. Your card's transaction has gone up. The way I do the transactions have changed, but it has not changed the fundamental banking. I go to the bank and put the money. I go to the bank and take the money. I go to the bank and ask for the loan or ask for the services. All those things. The banking remains the same. When the banking is same, and the ways in which the banking is delivered has changed. So naturally, we have to look at, are we secured in delivering it? The ecosystem in which the banking is operating today has changed, whether the bank has adapted. Maybe you'll say, am I getting the same experience like that of Amazon? Amazonization is something which everybody talks about it in every world. It's a beautiful buzzword. For advertisers who will say, previously there was a Samsung also said that they pull out some of the Amazonization. Are we doing that? That is an experience. The one which is going to change forever, consistently, continuously, throwing a lot of challenge to bankers like me is experience. The experience demanded for delivery of the services is what is going to change. What was the biggest disruptor in the last 2 decades? Technology and ICT. ICT is information communication technology. We no longer deal currency in the paper form. We deal it in data form. The biggest change. The moment anything is just changed from one form to another form, its characteristics changes, its ability to undertake the transaction changes, and naturally it throws along with that a new type of risk which is changes. That's a big change. Let me give some anecdotal example for you to understand. See, I joined the banking in 1980, when some of you might not have stepped out of the schools as well, right? So imagine fresh from a science graduate walking into the banking. Now you have that, my son used to ask me that, say, I am an engineering graduate, why the hell you want me to do the finance? Like now you wanted to align with what you have studied. Previously, whatever you studied, the opportunity for getting a job was the one which is determining where you wanted to go. Be it a government service or the banking service, there are 2 opportunities available. I walked into the banking service. A fresh graduate from, a post-graduation from college, 3rd day I just walked in even before the results came. You are so much used to the lecturer explaining the theories. You are so much used to the lab assistant helping you in the lab. So you walk into the bank branch in the intention that somebody is going to help me out in doing a transaction, right? Big change. That is a big change in the life of the lad. I was surprised. You'll start, I just joined in one of the public sector banks way back in a small non-descriptive town called Kumbakonam in Tamil Nadu, right? You're too happy. Like when you get an opportunity to work in the same state, no? You say that, and we are from Dravidian movement, like the fear of talking Hindi was always there at the back of your mind. And with that, oh, you got it, very good. All the people were just happy about the family. We walked in, I was so happy about the fact that I'm going to have some money in my pocket, so that for going to the movie, I don't have to look at my dad. That was the only luxury at that time. Today, you have multiple things for spending your money because the way of life has changed. We were looking at, the moment I walked in, it used to be big ledgers, heavier than my hands can hold. That was the stage in the banking was. How many of you have seen the bank branch today with the ledgers? But the debit and credit going into a savings fund account then and now is the same. So the banking has remained same. Instead of lifting the heavy ledgers, I simply lift only the keyboard. Now that is also going to change. In future, what will happen? See, I just try to relate them how we do. Future, even the keyboard lifting or the mouse lifting may not be arising. I may have a voice bot. I may have AI which is sitting behind. All the bankers from the front desk will be pushed to the back desk. They will do that banking specialized task. It's no longer a general physician. The yesterday banker used to be a general physician. You remember that when your childhood, you would have gone to the nearby doctor who will treat everything, A to Z. That today the same doctor will say, no, go to the lab for do a test, blood test, you go XYZ, and for a coronary test, you go to ABC, come out to the results, oh, for this you consult A doctor, B doctor, C doctor, all specialists. The banking is moving towards such a specialization. Good, bad, ugly is a different thing. It's a separate debate. We can see it later on. But that's a given. That is a big disruption is going to come. The bigger ledgers have given way. See, I distinctly remember, maybe I may be one of the few bankers who are still in the service, who have seen the manual system, semi-automated system, fully automated system, and walking into the future AI-based system. Huge transition. What differentiation one can see is that maybe the way we did our loan yesterday and the way we do the loan tomorrow is going to be a huge difference. My worry is that the banking in the name of specialization will leave its touch and feel. Ultimately, you may not have a banker. The AI will become a banker for the front end. And in the back end, the decisioning continues to be the bankers. How well they are informed is a big question mark for which I don't have an answer, but we are struggling as an industry to find an answer to this. Do I still have the things here to take a decision which is unbiased, which is with full transparency, which is not going to be questioned in future? That is one which is in hold for this. Maybe as we move forward, there are a couple of things which you have, as a banker, you have enjoyed. I can give an example. In my career, I was in Haryana, Mahindra district. I was asked to work in a small rural branch. You can't stay in the village, but you have to stay in the nearby town. And the town and the village is connected with I do not know how many of you have gone into a couple of decades before. Still those autos are there. It's called auto, but it's a minivan. A customized minivan, a jugaad ka banata na, it is. I do not know how the RTO stamps it and gives a number, right? Still it has its own registration number. Long one with a wheel in the front and around 6 feet long, and people were clinging all around. I happen to be a banker, and everybody knows, yeah, this lad is from banking. ये तो ये काम करता बैंक में, so privileged. The privilege you enjoyed as a banker at that, will it be there? No. Why should be the privilege is a different question. I'm not getting into the debate of a socialistic order saying that why somebody should get the privilege. But that's order of the day. Next important thing, one day when we were traveling there, what happened? I'm from the land of Dravidian, so Hindi was thoda aata hai, jata jata hai. That was the attitude with which we were working there. So what happened was that there are a lot of pathways, and it's not something which is new to Mumbai or elsewhere, where everybody, Express Highway is having a lot of, Eastern Express Highway is having potholes, a lot of things are coming in times of India, you guys capture it, and then it was then also. But that guy will not reduce his speed, because his intention is to make 10 trips so that then only his pocket and his money can be, he can make some money, he can support his family. He will say, Pakado. That means everybody will hold it, cling to it. I couldn't understand. For me, Pakoda is known, but not Pakado. At that time, I just didn't catch it. What happened? It just threw me in front. You got your nose bleeding, you'll be surprised. Today, how many of us stop the vehicle and take care of the guy who is just, co-passenger is being impacted? He said, no, yaar, mere ko time ho gaya. My manager is a lousy guy. Even if you go 5 minutes late, also he'll mark me an absent, and 3 days late means they'll cut my 1 day salary. So you'll keep moving on. The entire vehicle stopped. The people rushed, got the water, privilege. It's that kind of privilege do we still have as a banker? No. In the village, any function, Jananam to Maranam, the chief gets to do the bank manager. Now, even the deceased account details are not submitted to the banker for him to settle the accounts. That is a big change. And this change, is it good or bad? You have to keep debating it. I just leave it to your imagination for doing it. But the banking continues to be the same. Today you walk into the bank and ask for the cash. Instead of asking you to give it from the counter of the cashier, they'll say that I have a card, walk into my ATM, have a card, then walk into any of these POS machines which are in a position to give you the cash. So that is what it will continue to be. Maybe in future, our interaction with the bank will no longer be in front of the front desk. You walk in, and some of you would have traveled abroad. If you wanted to any society, you had to press, your voice will pop up and say, I've come as a guest to flat number 3 and floor number 4. Then I'll ask you, have you ever come before? He'll say, no, it's your first time. Then you have to identify more. KYC will be done before letting you in. The voice bot may pop up and say that, yes, let me know that. Hey, Sharma ji, आप अभी तक बैंक में आया नहीं है, 1 साल हो गया है, योर अकाउंट इज इनएक्टिव, आप एक काम करिए, घर जाइए, आपका आधार कार्ड निकाल कर आइए, आधार कार्ड का प्रूफ करिए. I mean, it is going to become from personalized services, what we have been seeing as a banker and as a customer may move into the impersonal. Good, bad is different, but it's a reality. How many of you would like to have, when it is convenient to me, I will say, yaar, personalized service is not coming, write a letter to MD at rblbank.com. If the service experience is good for me, where my time is an essence of it, personalization gives way to the impersonalization. But this is the order of the day. But the banking which is being done at the bottom will continue to be the same. So the banking is not going to change. So if the banking transactions are secured, and you don't have to worry about it, the way it gets delivered is a big, big disruptor. See, I worked in Bengal. আমি বাংলা বলতে পারবেন কেন? আমি বাংলা কাজ করছি. How many today my banker colleagues who are transferred from South to the Bengal will be able to say this with the pride? difficult. Why? You have your chat GPT, perplexity. Go there and type it. Of course, I have not learned Marathi, but I am using my chat GPT very efficiently to talk to my vegetable sabji mandi and other places. This is a big change. So what? Is it good for the progress of the country or it isn't? If you ask me as an individual, not as a banker, it isn't good. We miss the cultural mix. We miss the feedback which I get from the local. Yesterday, when I wanted to give a loan to somebody, today data is come. Data aggregators, data. See, you are a flesh and blood. And you are not the represented by the data. The future, unfortunately, is going to represent you and me by the data. My way of doing a transaction, my way of settling my electricity bill, my way of paying my gas bill, my way of settling my credit card bill, my way of doing my transactions in internet, my way of purchasing in Amazon, that will decide whether I am fit for transactions. It is going to be fit for otherwise. Yesterday, it has nothing. I might have kept a loan outstanding with a corner kirana shop. Still, I will get a loan from my banker colleague because he is a part of the society. He was a part of the socially integrated cultural society. He will get the feedback. If you want to know something about Saranya, the next of the neighborhood will say that, it's a wonderful lady, you can bet on her. You go to the landlord and ask about it, fantastic. You don't have to worry at all. They are the peace-loving people. Where do I get it? Where do I get these characteristics of the individual through this data? Work on. Somebody may challenge me saying that, no, we have a predictive analytics, which is how long? What is the guarantee that it is not having the negative bias? The biggest worry today, if you ask me, is being the person from yesteryear banking, extremely deeply adapted to the technology. I know technology as much as the best of the technology guys here. The reason is that's my passion. The simple question which remains in my mind as a banker is, will we be able to meet this cross-wire of conflict which is coming up today? The natural flair will be lost. The social fabrics will not be as what it used to be. Of course, all these changes are coming with its own challenges and risk. This is where everybody needs to be conscious. Whether the banking is secured, no doubt. The delivery of the banking, is it secured is a question. Yes, it comes with the challenges of own. It only gives way to the yesteryear frauds, to the new types of frauds. Previously, it used to be check frauds. A chemically altered check, 100 rupees will be converted into 1,000 rupees. 1,000 rupees will be converted into 7,000 rupees. Pretty difficult to find out. But the technology stepped in. Gave a lot of, there used to be lamps which is used to see that it is chemically altered. So they evolved. The frauds facilitated the changes or the protection or the countermeasures. Till the fraud is detected yesterday, we were not having a countermeasure. Today, that situation has changed. Thanks to the technology. See, you have to see the both of it. Now, ICT today is able to tell me that what sort of predictive frauds can happen. Am I in a position to find out? These are the way the frauds have taken place. The fraud history, where the fraud history can throw out a new types of frauds. That is where this entire changes happen. And technology will definitely fix it. But still, social engineering is the biggest one. Why all the people have lost the money? It's a social engineering. He picks up and talks to you and tell you an emotional card. So one thing any technology cannot change between you and me is my emotion. I can't control my EQ. I may not have EQ, that is a different issue, but I can't control my emotions. This is where the gap between the technology and the rest is going. Whoever is going to take advantage of that, the weakest moment of a person is the weakest emotional point. Your dog is not good, your kid is not good, your child is not able to pay the fees in time, you had it. That day, your output is going to be half of what you normally do. That day, you are most vulnerable. How these fellows are able to find out the sweet spot of your vulnerability is a big challenge. Which technology is going to throw this as a solution is a big mute. In future, I wish my technology guys, I used to throw them this challenge. You find out the weakest moment of my customers who are going to fall gullible for this particular type of emotional law. During that period, There will be a digital arrest. You're seeing it again and again. You would have come across. They put a digital arrest. The best of one of my closest friend, one of my closest relative. He was general manager of a very leading corporate and retired. He had a substantial amount. He was put on digital arrest. Poor fellow, he just pulled out 10 lakhs and paid. Fortunately, when he was about to pay the another 10 lakhs, he picked up the phone and spoke to me. I said, am I doing the right thing? I said, you are not doing the right thing. What am I to do? First, you destroy your card. Go to the bank and tell them to freeze my account. Let us see later on. You just can't get the money back. The money is like a Fonzi scheme, no? I give it to X account goes to 20Y account, 20Y account go to 1000 Z account. Getting back the 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees is going to be a humongous task. Even the best of you can find out, you can close, you can freeze, but how will I get it back? So this is a big challenge to the bankers today. But we do have countermeasures. A lot of countermeasures have been taken, and in fact, the MHA has taken such a beautiful measures for that. 1930. You will say that 1930 is always engaged. There is a website where you log it, and your bankers are always open for doing it. 24/7, it is working in every commissionerate of major cities. The number of such frauds are coming down, but will it reach the naught? Will it reach the nil? Is a big question. Will I be able to do that in near foreseeable? People say, why I can't use AI for preventing this? My dear friends, the fraudsters are using AI to beat your AI. I can use AI for anything, right? I can use AI for prevention, the same way somebody else is using the same AI for beating that AI itself. That is where the challenge is today. So you have to keep running to be staying in the same place. There is a big revolution has taken place in the banking. So previously, a decade before, 2 decades, banking used to be exclusive. If you want to do a transaction, you must take an off, go to the branch, sit there, do it. It's an exclusive banking. It has moved as also banking. That means on the fly you are able to get your loan, on the fly you are able to take the money out, on the fly you are able to do it. What is in future? It's also banking is going to give way for banking by fly. That means you think of it. Possibly your Alexa will be able to do the transaction for you. You just decided to leave an instruction with your ChatGPT Pro, which may be able to do the complete transaction for you. That's the future which is ahead of it. Is it possible to prevent all such kind of futuristic technology and keep the banking secured? I must definitely again recall what I said a little earlier about our regulator. Already regulator has come out with 100 plus pages of AI framework. That means they are always ahead of the rest of the breed, enabling people to do it. We went to the cloud. You know, the cloud, we say that one of the best way of doing it, but the cloud comes with the same problem as we are doing it on-prem. But there are protection ways. In cloud, people are not interested in stealing your data. They are interested in stealing the compute power. Bitcoin. If I wanted to do the Bitcoin and mint money out of it, I need to have a compute power. Instead of stealing my data from my cloud services of my bank or any other service provider, they will steal the compute power. The way in which the sophistication has changed is not about the stealing money or stealing data. It is about stealing your compute power. It is like taking your kitchen for making their own recipe. When you are all sleeping in the night, somebody walks into the kitchen and then take over the kitchen and do the entire recipe and then walk out. One other big problem which we are facing in our country is the adoption of technology. We always have a doubt. Yeah, we are doing so many things, will our people get adapted? I can give one anecdotal example for that. 2 decades before, we had an ideation department in the bank which I was working on. With one of the service providers, we designed a cash accepting machine. Very rudimentary. We want to test it out. We took it to the Mangalore. Long queue used to be there for depositing money into that accounts of Bihar and UP because they want that family to take. They give a debit card and then use it. Long queue. They have to fill up the form. That was the challenge. Imagine the bank form, you know it, no? Like you have multiple, yesterday if you use a form, it will have so many conditions, so many numbers. That was consuming time. This particular deposit machine requires you to recall the 16-digit number and feed it, confirm a couple of things. So I demonstrated, explained to them in the local language, which is Kannada. Then we said that somebody else converted that into Hindi. Then it was explained to them. I thought it's going to be a big challenge for me to make these hundreds of people standing in the queue to understand. You'll be surprised. The third person standing in the queue, okay, he started. I said, "Yaar, आपको बताता हूँ." He said, "No, sir. क्या ये rocket science है क्या?" Imagine this guy from UP was telling me. Yeah, my CMD was also there because the inauguration was done by CMD. It's the first of its kind. ये rocket science है क्या? अरे तेरे को मालूम है मैं तो सुन रहा था मेरा अकाउंट नंबर को मेरे को इधर है अकाउंट नंबर फीड करना है देन 2 बार उसको यस दबाना है और कैश जमा करना है कैश वापस आ जाता है. So the adaptability is there in the DNA of Indians. We don't have to worry. The future, any technology you bring in, the people will get adapted quickly. Where they will fail is, they will not be able to differentiate between the bank and the non-bank. The trust factor is one where we are all struggling to maintain and then live up to that. That's going to be the challenge for all of us. Way forward, there is no substitute for technology to change, technology to move up. And AI, everybody knows that it has come for stay, it has come for disruption. In banking, we have started adapting it. Even I have experimented in multiple places. Of course, it's going to give a social. Today, the way I do the banking will undergo a change. Today, the colleagues of ours who are working in a call center may not be able to do the job they may give you. They have to reskill. The demand for the today's India is, the future is expecting everybody to upskill and reskill to get themselves adapted to the changes. You may be thinking, what is there for advertisers? What is the future holds for marketers? You can't do this, the conventional putting a hoard. My people came down and said that, "Sir, let us put a hoarding there in Nepean Sea Road. Let us put a hoarding there in that Worldly Sea Facing." I said, "What for?" "Sir, अंबानी भाई जाएगा तो he'll be seeing it." मैं बोला, अच्छा है, वो तो देखेगा, but कभी अकाउंट नहीं खोलेगा RBL से. Right? So it's a purpose oriented. नहीं सर, नेपियन सी रोड में कर देंगे, सामने तो RBI गवर्नर का घर है. मैं बोला, यार, that's all the more dangerous. बार बार याद नहीं दिलाना है. So he'll send the inspectors again to see the inspection को frequency ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. So you guys have to be purpose oriented one. You have to catch the eyeball of the customers. When need based and wants based. When I'm looking out for the loan, your data will help you to find out who is looking out for the loan. You must get back and see which are the banks which is able to give me the bank loan with that X percent. You can push that advertisement there. Then you are successful, your client is successful. Are we prepared for that? When I threw the challenge to the teams which are looking at it, it's a challenge. And you have to push 2 different products in 2 different ways. First, am I positioning my products as a livelihood product or a lifestyle product? It's a big change. A livelihood product should enable me to eat 3 meals. Livelihood product should enable me to build a house to give a safe positioning for my family. Livelihood product should provide me an opportunity for my youngsters to educate. These are livelihood. Are you positioning the advertisements appropriately at that moment of time when I need it? So need-based advertisement. Lifestyle is what? I have a house, I want a bigger house. I have a car, I want a bigger car. I go by train, I want to go by plane. These are lifestyle advertisements. Are we preparing, positioning ourselves? The style and the way we do yesterday has to change way, and here the AI can step in a big way. If you are able to collaborate the banking, and the needs of the customers through this, the triangle, if you are able to meet the center point, that is a way there will be huge change. I'm sure that we are moving towards banking for the fly, very exciting times ahead. I'm sure that next 3, 4, 5 years, which I'm going to be there in the banking industry, will give me a lot of excitement. And this exclusive banking gave way to the also banking. Now this also banking is going to give way to banking on the fly. Thank you very much. Really appreciate your patience. Thanks a lot.